Hi everyone, welcome back to what I promise you, is the final season here with Everton on reopening the School of Science. And I'll be honest with you, after about 5 games, I was regretting my decision to carry this season on, because despite us having a massive 450 million transfer window spend, it's not been a great start, but things might just be turning the corner, and we'll get into that and more right now. I think we're better to start than with results. Now, don't get me wrong, we've not played a vast amount of games, but the eagle-eyed of you will notice that at the top it says we're currently 13th in the league. That's because we lost to Spurs 3-2, first game of the season, away from home. We were maybe a little bit unlucky, but doesn't matter, they still beat us. And then we beat Wolves 4-0, and we were like, here we go. And you'll notice some names here, everyone. You'll notice some names. I don't want to spoil things, but you will notice some names that have scored, which will give you a bit of an indication as to our transfer business. But then we lost to Chelsea 2-0. Chelsea, who we usually without fail would beat. But Chelsea under Jurgen Klopp proving to be a bit of a different beast as to what they've been previously. We then followed that up with a 2-0 loss to Southampton. Again, probably a little bit unlucky, to be fair. Their keeper was in good form, but we didn't exactly dominate the game, let's be honest. We then beat Genk in the Champions League, which we'll get into again what our Champions League group is. But you can probably get an idea there. We got Shakhtar and we got Barcelona. We beat Genk 2-0. Lorenzo Luca at the double for us, thankfully. We then salvaged a draw against Blackburn. Now, I can't remember. It's been a while, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, we were the better team quite comfortably, but we were only able to just salvage a draw. We then played Huddersfield with Alan Edwards, one of our new signings we did touch on last season. Oh yeah, I've not done the face pack, the new gen face pack. But anyway, he is a striker I really like the look of. He cost us a fair chunk, I think, from Fulham. Can't remember how much he cost us from Fulham. 74 million he cost us. But he got a hat-trick against Huddersfield in the cup. And then we've just beat Newcastle 2-0. Now, this is probably the first time that we've been able to use the new tactic, properly. And that's because Pedro Porro literally, on the eve of the league, picked up a 4 to 5 week injury. So he is obviously a big part of how we play and a big part of how I want this tactic to work. And him being injured really limited that, to be honest with you. But we'll get onto the tactic once we cover transfers, because you'll see kind of why we made some of the transfers we did once we see the tactic, if you know what I mean. So we're going to do it a little bit backwards. So, as you can see, outgoings there, 243 mil, incomings 196 mil. If we flick back to last season and we go sort by date, you will see some of the signings we made before or / as the season ended, which bumped the value up. So, oh no, that is right. That is right. Is that right? I think that's right. That's right. So, we have got all these were loans pretty much, and Alan Edwards, we signed him to join this season. So we signed him last season to join this season. And Fulham asked for him to be loaned back, and I thought, yeah, that's fine. I'm not signing to Fulham season anyway. What I didn't realise was that meant that they wanted to get him on loan for this season. Bit of a brain fart. Same with Lamine Gomez. But we recalled him and Gomez after 28 days because that was the minimum time we needed. Wesley Fofana for 75 mil up to 83 mil. Basically, he doesn't enjoy big matches, but I figured that he can still probably play well enough to a standard for us that he can. It's not like he doesn't relish or he hates them. He just doesn't really enjoy them. But we've got enough options that if needs be, we can rotate him for those big games. So he was one of the first signings we went for, believe it or not, to play as a libero on support because he can dribble. Basically, he would make a good wide centre back. Now, I basically feel like a libero is the central wide centre back, essentially. Ability to carry the ball, and okay, admittedly his passing could be better, but his ball carrying ability is what I signed him for, really. His pace, his dribbling, his bravery and his composure on the ball is basically why I signed him. And again, you'll see why in a bit. So that was what. There's like a couple of. Oh, that's 150 mil spent right there. And then Julian Alvarez, we touched on last time, we did agree a fee for. We signed him for massive money. And I'll be honest with you, he's been crap. He's been a bit of a disappointment, really. But I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt, a bit of time to bed in while we're perfecting the tactic. Cesar Augusto is a young striker I have had my eye on for a couple of years. I've had agreed fees for, which have fallen through because I couldn't sign it because I'd already, signed too many under 21 players, but we managed to get it done. So I really quite like the look of him. Same with Jose Enrique. He's another centre-half, left-sided centre-half that we can play. And some of these players, I feel like some of them were just signings because they looked good on the youth intake scout, but they actually haven't turned out to be quite as good as I was hoping. But you know what? I mean, this guy, Mohamed El Azari, is only 3-star rated potential, but he's 18, and I think with these stats, he could actually easily become a much more valuable player than that. I think if his passing and his finishing come up in particular, he'll be a really good number 10, or if not striker. Then we skip forward to this season. So obviously we had a few outs. Harvey Barnes, we did sell to PSG for 50 mil. Daniel Ballard, we sold to Inter for 35 mil. Bear in mind, he cost us 3 million, so that kind of negated the loss that we made on Harvey Barnes. Dominic Greif, we basically made back the money that we spent on him, 10 mil to Real Madrid. I was quite happy to do that. Husamawa, we sold to Wolves for 46.5 mil. Someone who probably wasn't really going to fit the new system and had kind of flattered to deceive. He'd had a mini sort of resurgence last season. In that number 10 role and the shadow striker role, but even so, he still wasn't good. He hadn't been worth the 66 mil that we spent on him. So to be able to basically just cut our losses and make 20 mil off him, I was quite happy with. Raul Jimenez, finally we managed to get his wages off the books. He's gone to Monterrey. We're still paying half of his wages, which is still something like 70 odd mil, but 70 odd K, but that's 70K free. And you may be surprised to see Charlie de Ketelaere, CDK, left for 70 mil to Bayern Munich. Now, basically, they came sniffing around, and I thought, well, we signed him for 31. Let's see if they're prepared to give us 70. I didn't think they'd take it, and they did. It was 35 mil up front and 35 mil in installments, and you know what? I love Charlie. I love CDK. He was really, really good. But he had just too many games where he didn't really do anything for my liking. I mean, when you look over a 32 game season, 6.99 average rating, 6.95 average rating. When we first signed him, don't get me wrong, class. But he had too many, for me, he had too many 6.3s, too many 6.4s throughout the season. And to get 70 million for him for a player who I couldn't rely on. But let's see, what's he averaging so far? 7.22. Player I couldn't really rely on, to be honest with you, to deliver all the time. I was quite happy to get rid of. Lucas Hernandez, 30 million for a 30-year-old left back / centre half who we signed for 30 mil as well, was it? Sorry, 40 mil. I think it was like 30 mil up front and 10 mil in add-ons. Basically, we signed him for a season. He did okay, but he wasn't great. And part of the reason we sold him was because of A, the signings we brought in, and B, the system we were starting to employ. We went big on Ronald Arago from Barcelona. I basically went, because the board gave us so much money, 212 million, and with the sales we made, I was like, I'm just going to go hard. We're going to go Galactico. We're just going to smash transfer fees and just bring in elite top players. And Ronald Arago definitely fits that bill. I mean, look, he's already like worth double what we signed him for. He's on big wages, but I feel like he deserves it. Looking at his attributes, he's probably one of the, if not the best centre-half in this simulation. And so, yeah, we've been really happy with him. Federico De Marco basically was a system signing we made because we were playing wing-backs, and with his crossing ability and his passing ability, it was a bit of a no-brainer, if I'm being honest with you. And he's already proved worth the outlay because he got 2 assists in the Carabao, he's got 1 in the league, and he's got 1 in the Champions League. One of them, I think, a couple of them might have been set pieces, or one of them was definitely a set piece. So, yeah, already proving worth the outlay. And once that familiarity builds up, I'm sure him and a few of the other signings will really gel and be lethal. N'Golo Kanté was just a pure backup signing, elite level midfielder, 35 now, but just someone whose experience we can just bring on into a game, or if needs be, start him to save some of the legs of some of our other starting midfielders like Ward-Prowse and Villareal. So, and at the end of the day, who doesn't love N'Golo Kanté? Absolute, top guy. Zack Salter is another player we've been watching for quite a while at Southampton. He did have 5-star potential at one point, but that's dipped a little bit. But I still feel like at the age of 20, he's definitely got potential to be a decent player. We just brought him in for homegrown loan. But we've got an option to buy. And then Eduardo Luis is another youngster that we signed. And hopefully he will be a good player to go forward. And sorry, I completely overlooked this guy, Ben Carroll, a left back we signed from Bristol. Was it Bristol? For 22 mil. Young again, English again, helps with homegrown stuff. Potentially like a Mykolenko replacement going forwards if Mykolenko should ever leave. One for the future still anyway, even at the age of 20, and he could quite easily do a job for us going forward at the moment. So he just helps us out if we were ever to get an injury to a Mykolenko or a De Marco. So let's get looking at the tactic and how it shows, or how it's going to shape up for us today in the Shakhtar game. And I still am yet to do new kits. So initially it was the libero with just two, I think Arago was ball playing and Torres was just a normal central defender. But as you will see when you watch the latest episode, I think episode 40 of the Pentagon Challenge, maybe a little bit late to the party, but wide centre-backs, I think, are so important to any sort of ball-playing 3 at the back tactic. Just in general, 23 at the back tactic, to be fair. Like I said, maybe a bit slow off the mark, a bit behind the times. I haven't really used them that much this season, if I'm being honest, on this version of FM. But I've started using them a little bit more at the moment, and I am feeling that they are kind of pivotal in a way. Because I just feel like when you don't have them, you're much weaker defensively, and you're much more sort of impotent in build-up play. So yeah, we're going with something that looks a lot like this, basically. Pedro Porro is being pushed forward into a winger position, just to make the most of his pace and his crossing ability, with Ben Godfrey or Lamine Gomes or potentially even Calvin Ramsey playing as the defensive wing back. Now I have toyed with an inverted wing back in this role as well, just someone just to tuck in. But I find that possibly they interfere a little bit too much with Ward-Prowse, and then on the counter they're a little bit too narrow, and I'd want them to be a bit wider. So we're just going with a regular wing back on defend at the moment. So Lamine Gomes can also play that role quite nicely because it relies less on his crossing and more on his defending and, to be fair, passing ability as well. But obviously Calvin Ramsey could also do that job, and could probably theoretically do that job in a more attacking sense as well. But we just use it like this for now, just because basically we have De Marco bombing forward, outside Alvarez, and Porro is sort of the outlet down the right, and Godfrey just kind of holds here really. And then we have Mezzala and a deep line playmaker, very, I guess you might say, maybe less destroyer, but I find it potentially gets the most out of Ward-Prowse while also getting the most out of Villareal. And Villareal is kind of our go-to Mezzala. Still only 20, and he is very, very good. I don't know whether to rotate or whether to just go with this team. Actually, no, I will bring in Raspadori. I think I'm just going to go with this team with a view to potentially rotating during the game ahead of the Brighton game at the weekend, which we will also see. I think I am just going to leave it at this. Yeah, I think we're just going to leave it at this. Now, a disclaimer for those of you who watch Jake Cooper's series with his Villareal tactic, it's quite similar to that. It wasn't intentional It wasn't intentionally supposed to be like that. It's kind of just morphed into it because I just feel like wide centre-backs, you just can't really do without them. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If it leaves us too exposed with the Libero and Fofana, we'll have to skip it. But basically, because we've got Ward-Prowse is as on a deep line playmaker on support rather than defend. But I think because I feel like we're a little bit light in midfield in terms of just out and out winning the ball back without like a Rodri in or without a Conte in. Marcus Antonio's made it 1-0. I feel like having that libero pushing up into midfield helps, but we'll see. Because Marcus Antonio's just smashed Shakhtar in front. And yeah, you'll notice that we are going with Geisbauer over Pickford in goal. We decided just to develop Geisbauer, and Genk are taking the lead against Barcelona. Rogue. Porro's got a tight calf. That's not what we want. Really not what we want. And now De Marco's injured. And I'm going to have to take Porro off because I really can't afford for him to really pick up any more of an injury, because we've already suffered not having him. I feel like we've already suffered not having him in the lineup. And I feel like we're just going to have to take him off now. I just don't want his injury to get worse. And so far, it is all us, really. And Barcelona have equalised. Mudryk, who I think is probably going to be a wonder kid on FM23, based on the start he's had, I think he's probably going to be a must sign, personally. Based on the start that he's had in real life, when you see him scoring goals for fun in the Champions League against Leipzig. And by all accounts, Arsenal were in for him in the summer and stuff. I think he's going to be one of those players who everyone's going to want to sign on FM23. That was very close, very, very close. I'm going to try dropping Fofana just into a central defender role, because I don't like how easy they're getting forward, and Barcelona are taking the lead. And we are. This is not good. Really not good. Who is underperforming? No one really is underperforming. And it's 2-0 Yerry Mina against his old club. Off the corner. Disgraceful. Needless to say, we read them the riot act. They really need to sort this out, because this is not good. And I'm kind of getting to a point where I want to make a change, but it'll be my third change. We really need to get a comeback on. Maybe I should just do... That's terrible from Arago, just giving the ball away like that. That was really quite poor. And I can't believe he was just allowed to run through the entire length of my team. Come on, James. Decent delivery. Luca heads it wide. Luca has been profligate in front of goal this season, I think is the word. He's missed a lot of easy chances which he ordinarily would have smashed away. Who do we change? Let's bring on Alan Edwards. Decent pass from Cesar Augusto. Godfrey keeps it going. Luca heads it over. Let's see if Alan Edwards can do a better job. Shambolic, look at the stats. 66% possession. XG of 1.78 to their 0.79. And we're losing 2-0. Against a team who got smashed by Barcelona 5-1. So it really doesn't bode well for when we play Barcelona. That's just shoddy. Really shoddy. So like I said, yeah, I kind of was regretting in some ways my choice to keep this this series going in some ways after the start, because I was like, I reconcile myself to a season of rebuilding, basically, in a way, with trying to reinvent the team, trying to push for a Champions League. Have I just knackered things? But hopefully it'll click into gear. And hopefully it will click into gear before we have blown our chances at winning the Premier League. And hopefully we can just scrap our way through our Champions League group to get into the knockouts. Lovely ball. And at least not put his hand up, so he must have been offside. Yeah. Raspadori has had a really weak start to the season as well. This sort of average rating of 6.4 that you can probably just about see below my ugly face is kind of what he's been averaging. Now, I mean, when you look at the stats, if you don't look at the score, you'll think, oh yeah, Everton will have won that. No. So we've made a couple of changes, and I know we were saying we were blooding Guy's Bower, but we have just decided to throw Pickford in just for this game against Brighton. Just to try and throw in the odd game just to keep him happy, because he is really number one anymore, so he's not really playing. We are trying to, like I said, blood Guy's Bower and get him to develop, but Pickford's very influential in the team, so we need to try and keep him happy. We brought Luca out because he, like I said, he's not been brilliant by his standards. I mean, he's still got 2 goals in the Champions League, but just the 2 goals and 6 Prem appearances, and I really feel like he's missed a lot of sitters. You usually expect him to put them away. We brought Neves in. Raspadori's I'm gonna try and see if he can play himself out of bad form. But he has got Julian Alvarez waiting on the wings to try and come in and show what he can do. Tomori and Henrique are in for Araujo and Pau Torres. More just rotation to keep people fresh, but these are also good players. And Augusto is in for the not fully fit Porro, and Ramsey is in for Ben Godfrey, just to see if he can offer us a little bit more going forward. And hopefully that'll be enough to see us past 19th place Brighton. And because we're currently 13th, so we really need to start getting some wins in the league. On the board, I would hope that we should be able to beat Brighton, but we really should have beaten Shakhtar at the end of the day, and we didn't. And now on paper, you look at the Shakhtar result, and again they keep highlighting it. 25 shots to their 9, 64% possession to their 36. On another day, I guess we win that 5-0. So hopefully that means that the performance is there, and on another day we would win. But to say we were displeased would be an understatement. So hopefully we can turn that level of performance we had against Shakhtar, bring that today, and hopefully deliver a positive result. And it doesn't bode well when you've got your midfielder giving the ball away like that, which then leads to a goal. Like, look at this. Shoddy, sloppy passing. And Tomori wins it, but then it goes straight back to Kozlowski, who plays a lovely pass through to Solanke, who takes it round Pickford and scores, and that's a wonderful start at home to Brighton. Not the start we wanted. So we need to drop down the table, because this is where we are. It's realistic, we've got to look down here. Now this bodes well, because it's a highlight straight onto a free kick. Now usually when you get these, now we haven't got Ward-Prowse, so it's going to be Neves, who, as we all know, is as good at free kicks. Now with Neves and Ward-Prowse, both of them have got very high free kick taking statistics, attributes. I find that happens so much with the direct free kick, which I guess they would count as a small chance of a shot. It always goes on target. Two games and 2 centre-half goals. Two centre-half goals from set pieces. What is with that? Why have they suddenly lost the ability to defend corners? Oh my word, Borello. Seriously, man, sort it out. This is ridiculous. Absolutely pathetic. He's knackered, so he'll have to come off at half time anyway. But he's having a shocking game. Somehow he's got a 7 match rating. To be fair, he does have that in his locker. But he is still knackered, to be fair, so he is probably going to have to come off at some point. I just want to know why all of a sudden we can't defend set pieces when we have more defensive players naturally sitting back anyway. Yeah, I am tempted to bring on Conte. Right, so we have made the decision just to leave Villareal on just for a little bit longer because he is having a decent game. Was that like a heart? Not even a half highlight. Nice. Great chance that for Cesar Augusto. Right. What do we do here? Villareal off, I think, is the logical one. You know what? We are going to go Conte. But we're going to stick him on just the classic Conte role. Just win the ball, fight and win. Honestly, Raspadori, man, I could have sold him as well, you know. I could have sold him in the summer, and we didn't. And he's just basically just been terrible. Do we bring on Luca now? See if Luca can save the day, I think. This is garbage. Absolute garbage. See, Tomori, that's what you needed to do for their first goal. Just smash it clear. Yes, Lorenzo. 2-2. We pulled it back right at the end. Now, can we push on and get a winner? Can we push on and get the winner? I think we just try, just get it forward to Luca as quick as we can. See if we can nick it. I don't think we're going to nick it. No, 2-2. Not great, not great. We've now got quite a run of significant games coming up in the league and in Europe. So West Ham, who are literally just behind us, and then we've got Burnley, who are, again, just behind us. Bristol City, who are currently bottom. Barcelona at home, Bournemouth at home in the Cup, and then we play Barcelona again, and then we've got Liverpool, Villa, Man United. So we really need to get a bit of a run of form going in these games, really. We're going to have to get Barcelona at home, and we're going to have to try and get a result against them before we go to the Camp Nou. I think the logical place to bring it back, I guess, would be Barcelona away, because it'd be good to see, but yeah. Oh no, but then Genk game is going to be probably the one, because that's going to be where the Champions League is there to be won. The group is there to be decided. I mean, we'll see. I'll see how things go. I might bring it back for Barcelona. I might just plough through and go straight on for Genk. Champions League really is why we continued this save. So I think that's the one we've got to push on for, really. These are the groups. This is the annoying thing, is that the teams that are kicking around, you know, there's definitely the scope to have a decent Champions League campaign, because, you know, we look at the group, Bayern Munich, okay, yes, but then Sporting, Celtic, you know, Arsenal, Zenit, we could beat either of them. Fenerbahce, we could probably beat either of them. Milan, Benfica, Marseille, Young Boys, any of those teams we'd take. Juve and Real Madrid, okay, we probably want to avoid. Man City, yeah, try and swerve them. Inter, well, we wouldn't play them first anyway. Inter, we'd probably want to, could probably take them. Or Lyon or Gladbach, fine. Any team out of this group we'd take. And any of the three outside Man United, I think we could take as well. So, you know, we've got a decent chance here. There's no Atleti. There's no Liverpool. There's no Chelsea. There's no Dortmund. Shocking. Yeah, I just really think the chance is there. We really need to get to grips with this tactic. The familiarity is decent, really, relatively decent. Yeah, annoying. But you've got like Raspadori and Julian Alvarez who just aren't performing, so that needs to change, and soon. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, everyone. If you've got any thoughts, suggestions, whatever, let me know down below. If not, I will see you next time. Be in the Champions League, it'll be Barcelona or it'll be Genk. Let me know who you want to see. Or there's a chance that by the time this video goes out, I may have already decided and plowed through, because it just depends on when I'm sat down, how much time I have, and if I get into a role, I'll just keep playing. So, yeah. Hope that's okay with everyone. Take care, and I shall see you all next time. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and thanks for watching.